Hello, my lovely people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jen. This is the first time that you are seeing this beautiful girl right here. Thank you so much for stopping by. My return subscribers, from my heart to you, I love you. Thank you. So today, a lot of people are so angry and saying that their PVC didn't work. That's why I didn't want to vote. I will never vote again. Some of them even bring it on social media and said, you see this PVC, I am going to tear this PVC. You see this PVC, I will never vote again as long as I live. This and that. And I said, my dear people, my Nigerian people, why are you guys complaining? You guys complain too much. That's one thing you complain about. But you can't complain about something that you're supposed to have that you don't have. You can't complain about the people that you're sending to Abuja that's not doing anything for you. Complain about those things. Don't complain if you said that your vote didn't count. But I feel your anger. Because I am angry too. But I am here to let you know that your vote counted. Because if your vote did not count, we will not be where we are now. If your vote didn't count, they would have done it the way they usually do it all the time. Count it, put the person that's going to win. As soon as somebody wins this time, they already write the person that will win the next one. So your vote counted because one APC person came to Arise News and said, hey, well, we lost. We are not number one. I am sorry, we lost. You know why we lost? In Arise News, he said we lost, but we did better than PDP. That's what the person said. He said we did better than PDP, but we lost. PDP lost. You know why we lost? We lost because we took a OB for granted. We thought it was all this rat on the social media just typing, like they told us that were just two people typing on inside the room. We took them for granted. They came from under and carry us a POI and do their thing. The youth are angry. It was on Arise News. Go to Arise News. You will see the man that said clearly that Obi won. And he's one of the high-ranking people in APC. Go there and see it. Go there and see it. So, don't lose hope. Your mandate is coming back to you. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. It's because you voted. You're supposed to vote. It's because you've not been voting all this time. That's why they are getting away with murder. It's because you're not using your PVC to make a difference. That's why they're doing what they're doing. But now that you finally did, you see what is happening? Are you seeing what is happening? You will see. Keep all your PVC. Keep all your PVC. Keep all your driver's license. Keep all everything that you have. Because guess what? You're going to use it again. You're going to use it again. Because now we can see that everything that you guys have done is making a difference. They are shaking in their boots. They cannot believe that this happened to them. But it happened. So all we are waiting for now is for the court to give us the mandate and said, make una take. But I am angry. I'm very, very angry. Even one senior advocate of Nigeria that is in London, is a judge in London, came out and say, hey, well, let me tell you guys something. I'm not liking what is happening here. I am not liking it. And he wrote them a letter. He wrote them a letter and to ask them, why is it taking this long for you guys to answer that this thing is supposed to take only 7 days. You guys have started doing something or have gone somewhere. How can you guys work on sending somebody, swearing somebody in? That is what is fueling all these things. How can you guys work in swearing somebody in? So they asked him, I said, the letter that you wrote them last time, did they answer you? He said, they did not answer me. He came out again now to write them, to go and do something. He said he used to be there, that he used to be, where is this guy? Gosh, what is this guy? He said he used to be in there, that he know exactly what they are doing. That is cases that when he was there, that he used to argue about it and said, why do you guys sit on a case for 12 years? One case for 12 years. Why? Why should it be so? And people lose hope. That he said, so we can understand. We can understand why people are angry. Start eliminating some little stuff. Oh my God, if I see this man and that interview, I want to really show it to you guys to see what the man said. The man said it straight up. The man did not miss words in the way he said it. So that's why I said, I am really angry at Peter OBI's lawyers. Peter OBI, please push them to do something. You can't just go and file case in the court knowing where we are, and you just wait and sit down for them to answer you. They will not answer you. You guys are being too slow. You guys are being... I am really getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated on sitting down, just watching what is happening. And I cannot understand it. This is the man. Okay, let's see if I can get it.
Former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Dr. Obi'S, SAN, has urged the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal to conclude petitions on the February 25 presidential election before the inauguration of a new president on May 29. Obi, in a statement he personally signed on Monday, urged the tribunal to adopt the procedures used for speedy conclusion of arbitration matters in its approach to the cases. According to him, the first is the interpretation of Section 134 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as to whether securing 25% of votes in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is compulsory to be president. And on the second, he queried the legality of a candidate being allowed to stand for presidential or vice presidential election when he is at the same time a senatorial candidate. Joining us now on the morning show is Dr. Obi, a senior advocate of Nigeria and a former president of the Nigerian Bar Association. Good morning, Dr. Obi, and thank you for joining us on the morning show. Well, let's start with your...
Good morning, Robin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Let's start with your proposal that election petition cases at the Presidential Election Tribunal can be concluded within 7 days. If the tribunal takes a more proactive approach to it. But how feasible is that, considering the fact that election petitions have time limitations, they have a time frame. The Constitution talks about 180 days. When you appeal, you have 60 days. And then we're dealing with an election in which you probably have over 10,000 polling units. How do you do all of that within 7 days and before May 29? Shouldn't you be recommending that the Constitution has to be reviewed first? That challenge about time limitation should be addressed and properly defined. Otherwise, how would the courts do it in 7 days or before May 29?
Yeah, thank you very much. There's a context in which I've recommended that we should finish the petitions as fast as possible, and I think 7 days is a good time to go. The fact that the Constitution prescribes a time limit doesn't mean that that time limit must actually run. So the context of my call is that the polity is overheated. The other day, the Minister of Information is accusing Mr. Peter OBI of treason. People want interim government. There are all kinds of things going around. There's a whole shebang of things that seems to want to destabilize Nigeria. The DSS is shouting that there are people who are all over the place doing things. And the simple problem is just to resolve the election petitions. So the question is not whether it is doable, it is whether it can be done. So I start by saying that the judicial philosophy of Nigeria is about 100 years old. Nigeria is not known for speed. Why is it possible that Ghana finishes its own election petition in 30 days? So why can't we also do it here? Why should we have 360 days to do something that is very simple. So the new international gold standard, and I sit as a senior arbitrator in the City of London, and what we do is we apply case management. So my first recommendation is to say, the issues presented to the tribunals, are they amenable to quick resolution? And I think there are 3 issues which you've outlined that are amenable to quick resolution, one way or the other. Now, under the Kenyan procedure, those questions that I've set out are decided in exactly 1 day. So if I was the presiding judge of the tribunal, I would give 2 hours to the petitioner to establish the case whether 25% of FCT is relevant in the consideration of who is the president or not. I would give time to Mr. Tinubu's people to reply, and I'll deliver a ruling at 6 p.m. What's the difficulty? These are purely matters of law.
This is a judge.
So it is absolutely feasible. If those 3 questions do not succeed, then the part A of the petition would be now to do what you say, take the issue of electoral malpractice, which I concede will be a lot longer. But I have a strong feeling that those 3 questions I have set out can resolve the petition one way or the other. And it can be done in 7 days. If Kenya can do it in 14 days, why do we need 360 days to do our own? Are we not more highly judicially educated than Kenya? So come on, and I also, without criticizing the lawyers in the petition, since they filed the petition, I haven't heard anything from them. There's all sorts of procedures by which you can front-load a case, push it, set out procedural issues, set out jurisdictional issues for the tribunal to determine. That's number 1. 2, the tribunal itself can offer its own motions, to raise questions. So we've read all these petitions, and we think we can dispose of this petition if we set out some questions that, if taken, can resolve the entire thing. I'm concerned that the politics is overheated, and the way to go is to see if we can get the petitions resolved before May 29. The elections were in February. That's about 4 months. What's the difficulty about resolving these cases well before the handover? Kenya has a procedure whereby they lay out a policy. There shall be no inauguration until the petitions are complete. And in the Obi'S panel, which I was a member, we set out that procedure. There's a certain unfairness for a petitioner to challenge the president-elect who goes on to get inaugurated. That's what's causing all the problem. So let's give it a go. Let the judiciary give it a go. Let the lawyers in the tribunal give it a go to see whether we cannot accomplish what I've described in my letter. Kenya has a 30-day timeline. Nobody waits for the end of the timeline. Once you file your petition, you should be ready to make preemptory strikes. So if I was in the petition, I filed the petition on Monday. On Tuesday, I will file all my papers and request the court to determine certain jurisdictional questions. The fact that I have 180 days doesn't mean I should wait to 179 days to then begin to hustle. Everybody agrees that the politics is overheated. So we need speed. The point is that in modern judicial case management philosophy, there are steps you take to arrive at a conclusion. So step 1 would mean that if the decision of the tribunal states that 25% of FCT is not required, that point fails. If the tribunal says that 25% of FCT is required, then the petition succeeds. Now, so as you go up the steps, you will come to the point where the most difficult question will be posed, which is electoral irregularity. Mr. Robert Clark was on your program yesterday, and he gave a description of how petitions work. Petitions work on 2 levels. The first one is the technical level. All the 3 points I laid out, they are jurisdictional, they don't need any facts. You don't need a single documentation from INEC, because on the facts, Mr. Tinubu did not win 25% in Abuja. So you don't need any access from INEC. It's stated in the petition. So the question is a legal question. What is the consequence of Mr. Tinubu not getting 25% in Abuja? Is it fatal or is it not fatal? You don't need any recourse to INEC for any documentation. If the question is answered in the negative, Tinubu goes through. If it's answered in the positive, Tinubu loses. To go to the next question, what is the consequence of Mr. Tinubu's vice presidential candidate being on the ballot of senatorial? Is it fatal in view of Section 35 of the Constitution, one way or the other? And so on and so forth. So you exhaust the jurisdictional and procedural questions. If all those questions succeed, then you are within the time to dismiss the petition or allow it. Now, the more difficult one is if the procedural and jurisdictional points do not succeed. Then we are bogged down by the electoral irregularities, and I agree here that access to documentation will be necessary. But to sit down and do nothing, I haven't heard a thing from the courts, I haven't heard a thing from the legal team, is the point that I'm saying is irritating. And the politics overheated. If you give a man an opportunity to say, you're saying that Mr. Tinubu should not be president on the basis that he didn't win this. Tell me why. You need 20 days to do that? You don't need 20 days. It's a legal question whether and in section 134 is contiguous or not. It's very simple. A bench ruling can be given on that. I've done big arbitrations in the city of London and decided the point in 3 hours. So there's nothing that, you see, the problem is our judicial philosophy. I'm just looking at the Kenyan one. It says here, sustaining judiciary transformation. That's the Kenyan one. Sustaining judiciary transformation. How can this country, the so-called giant of Africa, run a judicial system that is 100 years old? That's the problem. The NJC is not doing anything to create a new Yes.
You know, I get that point about best practices, about gold standard and all of that. But this section 134,
yes,
you have referred to it about twice now as one of the questions to be addressed. Now, you raised the issue in January when you wrote a letter to INEC asking INEC for a possible interpretation of section 134. Well, I would like to know whether you got a reply.
Yes.
And then as a senior advocate of Nigeria, what's your own opinion, which you have not documented, about the interpretation of that section 134, sub 2 in particular?
Well, I did a letter to INEC, and if they had answered me, maybe you wouldn't have been in this log jam. But I had an interview. They didn't reply, by the way. But I had the closest they came to reply was an interview I did on TVC with my good friend Festus Okoye, and he admitted that it was an issue that required to be resolved. And I was surprised that they did nothing. My own view is that section 134 applied literally, because the rules of interpretation say if you read something and it's so clear to you, then you don't need to interpret it. The thing says you must win a quarter of the votes in 2/3 of 36 states. And so what do you want to say? The answer is obvious.
So the presidential candidate does not have to get 25% in FCT. Otherwise, it will amount to an absurdity. If he already has 25% in, say, about 20 states.
No, I didn't say that. I said
no, I want you to break it down.
25%.
I want you to break it down in a way that the ordinary man...
it down.
No, let's apply it.
I've just broken it down. Ruben, I've broken it down. You want to put words in my mouth, which I won't accept. It's so simple. You get a quarter of the votes in 25%, in a quarter of the votes in 2/3 of 36 states. That is what the law says, which is 24. So that's one part of it. It goes on to say, and. What does that mean? And the FCT. So as far as I'm concerned, you must also win 25% in the FCT. But that's not for me to say, because I'll be judging what is before the tribunal. So we think the tribunal can answer this question quite easily in 1 hour. That's my point.
My people, that's it all. That is it all. And I am really, really angry that Peter OBI and his people are not following this thing up. Follow it up. Go bumper to bumper. Tell them that things need to happen before this inauguration. Let your lawyers. It's not a matter of carrying 200 lawyers and none of them is one. See one lawyer, what one judge is saying. He used to be where all this Supreme Court are. Please, push them. Then they will do something. All these judges, are they not getting paid? All these lawyers, are they not getting paid? If you're getting paid, I beg, go and do your job. Nigerians we are having patience enough to hear all this rubbish. Please. So that they will know that you guys mean in the business. This is too slow for our liking, and Nigerians have started murmuring And when we start murmuring, we don't like things anymore because it's so easy for us to just lose hope. So my people, you guys just have patience. But Peter OBI, I hear and I see what people are talking about. That your lawyers, it's not in your hand anymore. But to push them to go and do something. Push them. You are paying them. They're not doing it for free. Big money you are paying. So my lovely people, I saw that. I thought I'd come and let you guys know. That you are our hope and we are depending on you to come and be our mouth, come and be our eyes, come and be everything for us. A lot of people depend on you and we think this is going too slow. Please push them so it can go faster than it's going now. From me to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.